Battle of Britain was fought in the skies above southern England in the second half of 1940. Yet for all the courage of the fighter pilots who Winston Churchill famously labelled the few, there was only one Victoria Cross awarded for bravery in the air. And today, ahead of the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain, I want to pay a personal tribute to that man, Flight Lieutenant, later Wing Commander, Nick Nicholson. Eric James Brindley Nicholson was born in Hampstead, North London, and left school aged 17 to work as an engineer. However, his interest in aviation and his admiration for the aces of the Great War led him to volunteer for the RAF. Nicholson was granted a 4-year short service commission and began his pilot training in October 1936. In July 1939, with war on the horizon, Nicholson married Muriel Kendall in her native Yorkshire. In May 1940, Nicholson was posted to the newly formed 249 Squadron, serving as an acting flight commander. The next month, Hawker Hurricanes replaced Spitfires as the squadron's aircraft of choice. On August the 14th, 1940, with the Battle of Britain already more than a month old, his squadron moved to RAF Boscombe Down, Wiltshire. On August the 16th, Nicholson took part in his first aerial combat. The citation for his VC action takes up the story. During an engagement with the enemy near Southampton on 16th of August 1940, Flight Lieutenant Nicholson's aircraft was hit by 4 cannon shells, 2 of which wounded him whilst another set fire to the gravity tank. When about to abandon his aircraft owing to flames in the cockpit, he sighted an enemy fighter. This he attacked and shot down, although as a result of staying in his burning aircraft, he sustained serious burns to his hands, face, neck, and legs. Flight Lieutenant Nicholson has always displayed great enthusiasm for air fighting, and this incident shows that he possesses courage and determination of a high order. By continuing to engage the enemy after he had been wounded and his aircraft set on fire, he displayed exceptional gallantry and disregard for the safety of his own life. Eventually, he bailed out of his Hurricane and opened his parachute. Nicholson described his ordeal in a BBC recording.
Then an aircraft, a Messerschmitt I afterwards heard, came tearing past me. I decided to pretend that I was dead and hung limply by the parachute straps. The Messerschmitt came back once, and I kept my eyes closed. But I didn't get the bullets I was half expecting. I don't know if he fired at me. The main thing is that I wasn't hit.
As he descended towards a field, a trigger-happy individual on the ground, believed to be a Canadian soldier, firing from Southampton docks, shot at him, fearing he was a German airman. The shot hit Nicholson in the buttocks, adding to his already growing pains. After he landed in a field, he was unable to free himself from his parachute because of his burnt hands. Nicholson's life hung in the balance, and doctors gave him only 24 hours to live. He was even measured for a coffin. 4 days later, Winston Churchill was thinking of men like Nicholson when he delivered his famous speech on August the 20th, in which he said, "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." However, despite his terrible burns, Nicholson survived and his VC was announced on November the 15th. Afterwards, he featured in a British Pathé film aimed at boosting the nation's morale.
No braver deed on any of the war fronts has been recorded than that which won the VC for Flight Lieutenant J.B. Nicholson. With multiple wounds and his plane ablaze, he power dived and shot down his opponent before bailing out.
Well, Nick, how does it feel like to have a medal now? As a matter of fact, fella, it's caused me a hell of a lot of physical and financial embarrassment. I'm going straight up north, see my son, get him christened, and you're going to be his godfather. Well, we better hurry up with it and drink up quickly. I guess you're right.
Nicolson received his VC from King George VI at Buckingham Palace on November the 25th, 1940. He was later awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. In April 1945, by then in the rank of Wing Commander, he joined the staff of RAF headquarters in Burma. On May the 2nd, 1945, he was the observer in a Liberator when one of the aircraft's engines burst into flames and the bomber crashed into the sea south of Calcutta. Nicolson died aged 28 and his body was never recovered. His widow Muriel received the news of his death on VE Day. The Tangmere Military Aviation Museum in Sussex has a display of Nicolson memorabilia, including the tunic and life jacket that he was wearing on the day of his VC action. The museum also has the original painting of his VC action by the war artist Robert Taylor. Nicolson's medal group is kept at the RAF Museum in Hendon. Nicolson remains a hero to locals in Southampton, and 4 years ago, Shoaling Junior School unveiled a plaque designed by the pupils in his memory. I have a huge admiration for this young pilot, Wing Commander Nick Nicolson, VC DFC. He was brave, determined, and always looking for the next challenge, most certainly one of the famous few. This week of all weeks, as the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain looms, we should remember him and his RAF comrades with gratitude and pride.